didn't decide on the intro, but it's gonna be hello,
Whoa.
everybody. Welcome to All New Nerds Live.
What's going on, everyone? Whoa!
What?
Oh, you're shooting at me? This is
You
scary.
didn't notice that?
Too much.
No, I noticed it.
Okay.
He noticed.
I'm glad. Welcome back. It's of course me, Johnny, along with Dylan and Levi, as always. My
Hey,
Hey, what do you
boys.
guys like better? Do you like
Lovely boys.
Qui-Gon Johnny or Qui-Johnny Jin? better?
Qui-Gon Johnny.
Wait,
I think Qui-
you
I think
just said the
Qui-Gon
same
Johnny.
thing twice. Qui-Gon. You like Qui-Gon Johnny? Qui-Gon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
I don't know.
Qui-Johnny Jin.
I
I'm
like that
just wondering.
better.
I'm throwing it out there.
I
So
like
asking
that
the chat. Asking Chad. Hey Chad, how's it going? I see you in the chat there.
Asking
Chad.
Chad.
Chad in the chat. Chad.
Chad.
I want to throw out there a big thank you to everyone who left a comment on our most recent podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Wondering where we were. A comment.
Yeah.
One of the commenters, Wolfie, was like, "Man, I thought we lost you guys," and
Thought
I
we lost-
appreciate.
Yeah,
I appreciate
we're not
that.
gone. We
We're not
just
gone.
we needed a break. I think all of
Well,
us we were heavy
Gone
with
but not forgotten, clearly.
heavy with our little bit of Kenobi. We were trying to do as much as we could, and
Irish
just
Vince.
needed a break
Irish
this
Vince.
summer.
Was
So
a Daffy Duck.
Can't
we
say
all-
I've
we all
seen your name around here, but thank you
took
for
some time,
coming
and
in.
so.
Do you know any
But
Scottish
thank you everybody
Vinces?
for the pod. Yeah. Thank you guys for cutting me
Any
off.
English Vinces? Only Irish Vinces?
Thank you guys for cutting me off.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. Qui-Gon Johnny.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. I'll always be there to cut you off, no matter what.
I know. But anyways, yeah. So we're all safe and sound. We're here to stay. So. No worries
hope
there.
so. Not unless
So-
StreamYard takes us down. not unless Gage.
No,
Duck.
not doing this.
Was it goose? What is it?
Who?
What is it? A goose? Duck? What is that thing?
It's a duck.
Gage.
That's
It's a
Daffy.
duck?
It's a duck.
Daffy Duck, right? No.
No, I don't mean Vince. I mean the StreamYard.
Oh.
I mean,
The
it's
stream
kind of got a long beak for a duck, no?
Man, that's
Maybe-
a duck.
Maybe
mallard,
we
if
can try
anything.
to
Some
barter
kind of
with them
mallard.
by keeping this on the
Anyway, that
It's on the
duck's
stream.
that
just so,
thing,
they-
that
just so they
bird-
know we're powered by them.
Yeah.
that bird is going to assassinate us.
Yeah,
very soon,
he's coming
so-
for us. He wants
a
it. He
clause.
wants his money.
There's a,
He wants
That's
his
it.
money.
I'll leave it at that.
he wants his money essentially, and we're refusing to pay up.
Let's remake The Godfather with birds, with only birds,
Mm,
all new birds. No,
we could
No.
do that maybe. I
you don't
know.
like all new birds.
I think you.
I don't
think
think it's
we
worth
need
the
to
effort.
bring that back. Yeah, bring that back to the drawing board there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that back. I'll take it back.
So yeah,
Um,
there's been
yeah.
some Star Wars stuff, I guess. Some out there, some Star
Well, we
Wars.
don't just have to talk about
rumblings.
Star Wars.
out
Dylan,
there
have you
in
finished? Have you finished Stranger Things yet?
No, I'm halfway through the second
It's a lot.
episode. Halfway through the last episode.
How you feeling so
Halfway
far?
through the last.
I think it's pretty good.
I think it goes 1, 4, 3, 2.
Wow, 4 is your second favorite.
Yeah.
Right now for me it's 1, 2, 4, 3, I think, but I haven't finished 4 yet. So far it's pretty good. I think these last 2 episodes are definitely saving the season for me. But I don't know, what did you think, Levi? I remember you said you-
What the duck is
after
going on,
finishing it,
boys?
kinda
That
moved.
is a good question.
Yeah, well, we had sort of opposite. I was watching the pod back, and Johnny and I both said that the first half was really good, and
Yeah.
volume 2 was what was weak for us. But you thought that there wasn't enough going on in the first volume, and that you needed more to get it out. Which I was totally opposite way.
Whole new generation.
Um,
Whole new
I thought
turkey?
the first ep of the second volume, episode 8, Papa, really good.
Yeah.
Good ep.
Yeah, that was
Good
solid. That was
For me, it's ep 9 that is
Well,
really
hold on.
just.
Dylan's not at the end here yet.
No, I haven't finished.
I know,
Quite
but
yet,
yeah,
so-
and,
That's where it left. I think the last hour left a sour taste in
yeah.
both you and
Hmm.
yeah, with both
That's
you.
interesting. I have
concur.
heard that it goes on a little too long there.
It's an odd. It's an
Yeah,
odd
where are you at
way
in
to
the ep?
wrap a season.
I guess spoiler alert. I think
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Max's plan didn't really work, and she's like trying to get Vecna to like come
Mhm.
get her.
Mhm,
See
mhm.
that, and that's already like halfway through the ep. That's so much.
Yeah.
That's so long.
There's
Yeah.
a lot more.
And you would expect it to end pretty soon after that, maybe in another 30 minutes. But no,
I don't know actually.
you got like an hour left.
Yeah, I still got. I think
Yeah,
an
you
hour and a
got- you
half
got some
left
time.
actually,
Oh,
and a lot has
Okay.
happened. Yeah, I don't know why they felt the need to do that. I don't know why they didn't just segment them into at least two
like
more
that.
episodes. You could do 3 episodes.
You can
know what
all
I mean?
you can all do anything. I think that's
You
the
can all know anything.
All new
Dylan's
episode.
story. That's the moral of Dylan's story is you can all know anything.
You know, I wasn't quite there, but I was getting there.
He's getting there.
You
He's
gave me
getting
another
there.
hour to keep talking. I would have ended up.
Right.
Yeah.
so-
But yeah, no.
But wait,
it was good.
before we move on from Stranger Things, I will say,
Yeah.
reading what
Yeah,
they're
what do you
talking
like-
about
like- you
season 5, how they want to return to form. They want to get the original groups back together, like from season 1, and they want to keep it all in Hawkins. That intrigues me. That sounds like we're going back to what made the
Well,
show some of the greatest television of all
Levi
time.
and I can't say anything to you.
Yeah, legally speaking, I can't say anything. I can say though, it's an all new day, and it's an
What do
all
you
new
know about
day
Stranger Things?
that I haven't watched Miss Marvel yet. Still haven't seen it.
Oh,
I was honestly-
Dylan? Well, Miss Marvel.
Miss
No,
Marvel
I
check?
haven't seen it at all.
I haven't watched.
I'm sure it's good, but what do you guys know about Stranger Things that I don't know about?
It's
Well, you
good
haven't
to
seen
see
the
you then,
ending.
because you've been around here
I
for about
see,
a
I see what
year,
you mean, okay.
and this is the first time I remember seeing you in a chat. So thank you for sticking around all this time and being a first time chatter now.
What's
Yeah.
the
Welcome to
theory
the
thing?
chat, bud. Unless you changed your name or something, but
Johnny,
What's the
Johnny,
what's the theory thing? I'm not understanding.
Johnny, you're a numbnut.
you're messing, right?
What's going
He's
on?
me-
You're
he's
messing
messing.
with me.
He's messing.
Messing.
He's
Alright,
messing.
let me take a sip of water here.
I can't tell. Wow, synchronous water sip from Dylan
Yeah,
and
can we-
Johnny.
can we all just drink some
Yeah, can we
water
just
real
get to
quick?
the side?
We hydrate.
Here we go. Here
We
we go.
hydrate out here. Oh, you want to hydrate?
It has been a hot New England summer.
Yeah.
I will leave it at
See, look,
that.
yeah.
You trying to dox us? No, I'm just kidding.
I can't tell if
You've
I
got
still
so
can't
many
tell if you
times.
don't know what Vince was talking about. I think you're joking, right? Yeah, okay. He's
this
joking.
guy.
He's joking.
This guy.
It was a
come
bad
on.
joke. It's a bad joke.
Okay, that's something that would happen with Johnny though.
Yeah,
Like that's like pretty
I don't
believable.
think
yeah, that was
so.
pretty believable. That you're like, I'm not following. That's what
What's
you
going
do. Kamduku.
Maybe.
All right, hey.
I point, Your Honor, he's legally insane.
Look,
Not-
imagine playing that clip in court.
Never happened. You don't have a clip of that.
Admitted as sane
Like,
as
Kamduku, and the bell
You don't have a clip of that, so
It's
It
true.
doesn't
Well,
exist.
everyone go watch our ranking
no
pod
records of it.
to understand what we're
I
talking
think I
about.
cut it out.
You didn't. It exists.
You didn't.
You did not cut it. You
I've
didn't cut
pulled
it.
it up many times.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
maybe Dylan did.
In
Oh,
fact, I'm gonna
anyways.
post it on Twitter.
We're referencing a podcast where I stumbled my words. That's essentially
A lot though.
they're trying
Funny.
to- they're trying to be
Anyway,
funny.
so all new day, all new. Have you watched the most recent episode, Johnny, of Miss Marvel?
No,
I heard
no,
it's getting
no.
progressively worse.
It is getting progressively worse.
And see, that's what's kept me from it. I was
They're
like,
gonna
oh
stick
man,
the
I'm
landing,
so busy,
right?
gotta get there.
They're gonna stick the landing. Don't worry.
Yeah,
no,
they always do.
Marvel's really good at that.
no, I have
Wait,
no feeling.
Can I also say something?
You can
Thor:
say
Love
something.
and Thunder, I heard is kind of mid.
Well, I
hear
think
that.
I
I've
think
seen
people
that.
have opinions on it. And we'll get into Taika later.
Someone compared it to
stream.
Batman and Robin. which
Well,
I don't know if it's a compliment.
that's
I
real.
think it's gonna be a lot
That's
more
intense.
self-aware. Well, but just
Wow.
what I'm seeing is that
I don't know when I'm gonna
It's
see
got like
it.
a 70
'cause-
on tomatoes from
no,
critics.
and that's not bad, but it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's gonna
Or,
be a little
excuse me,
divisive.
screw
I think.
critics.
But what I'm seeing is that they like take
Not monetized,
Thor
who
being
cares?
like a funny guy like very very far in this. Where I like he's just like become just like macho like muscle Thor, and like there's no real.
He's
like,
a bro. He's a
emotion, like-
Chad.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I can.
like I love Ragnarok, but apparently like it doesn't hit like Ragnarok. did. I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah.
John Campia, friend of the show, said it was very good.
Oh,
So-
did
Yeah.
he? Okay. I'm a Jeremy Johns guy, and he didn't think it was that great.
Well, I've lost Jeremy Johns. I've fallen off.
Have
Levi
you?
is friends with Jeremy Johns. There's a picture.
Yeah,
of
they
met
them
him.
together.
They-
You know,
have-
I
we have
respect his opinion.
that?
I respect his opinion, but
Jamie, pull that
he
up.
on Letterboxd, he gave Minions Rise of Gru a higher than Thor and Love and Thunder.
yeah, he's gotten. I don't know. He's just gotten the pandemic has tired him out. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
No, I mean like, it's not. It doesn't seem like the pre-sale tickets are doing very well.
It's almost like
On it.
people are tired of Marvel.
Yeah.
Could be. Also, I don't
Hate
have
to
anything against Jeremy
hate to
Johns.
say it.
I don't really watch a lot of movie reviews anymore because
I only
They're-
watch it for movies.
I've gotten to a point in time where my opinions. It's just I don't care. I don't care what other
We
people have
watched
to
a
say.
great movie today.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Leon the Professional. Natalie Portman's in it.
Yeah, I've heard that was
one
one
of
of
her
her
first roles.
breakout roles. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Great
Professional,
movie.
yeah. Isn't it just
Movie.
called The
Recommend.
Professional? Isn't
Oh,
Leon the
It's
foreign?
a long title, but yes.
Yeah, the longer title. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great movie. Anyways, have you gotten tickets for Thor, Levi?
No, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to see it until like Saturday or Sunday because I'm
Me too.
working.
Me and
Thursday
Gibbs are
Friday.
seeing it on Monday, I think.
Damn,
will
really?
not
That
be-
late? Damn.
Yeah. We're gonna see
Okay.
it Sunday, but
We'll definitely talk about next week's stream. I was hoping we get a.
well, maybe one of you can do a review.
I don't know if anyone's gonna see
Not
it.
me.
When do you see it, Johnny? Oh yeah, you're good. Oh, Johnny's gonna be away.
I haven't.
Okay.
This is tough.
I'll make a review without seeing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do that too. I love. As they said, sometimes I feel like critics do that.
What, they don't see a movie, they just get like notes.
Well, I remember.
Probably, yes.
I remember, especially it's the worst with TV. Oh, Dimes in Jordan, I'm pretty sure, which is sweet. I'm
Dang,
surprised you're
that's
hitting
cool.
the time, unless you're back from Jordan, in which case, welcome back. Oh no, check it out. Yeah, 2 a.m. Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Dylan once did yell where it made Levi go, ah.
That's crazy. Just happened.
That's what I did. We go.
15 people watching the stream. Thanks so much for being
That's what
here.
I'm
We were
saying,
talking about
guys.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
hope you
I
guys are
had
still
the
enjoying it,
realization
though.
once
We'll get
the
into
critics
We'll
didn't
get
like
into
Speed
the news soon,
Racer
though.
and they didn't like Tron Legacy, so critics can.
Okay, well, I can 100%
I don't care.
understand. I understand why critics don't like Speed Racer.
I think critics are wrong though. There's-
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Tron
critics-
Legacy, I'm sorry.
critics
It's so
often are.
good, dude. It's so good. I don't care what anybody says.
I
I
played
haven't seen Speed
Tron.
Racer since in a fortnight, so
I went to
Speed Racer
a bit of an arcade bar, and they had Tron, like the original game. It was
Sick.
not easy. It was very hard.
yeah.
I wasn't good at it
Our
at all.
game is the bikes, right? That's what the game is.
Well, yeah, but it's also
bike.
there's like other stuff too. Like the bikes was like just one part of it. It was like a bunch of trials, really, which
Trials.
is what Tron is. but-
Trials.
Yeah, there's like,
Trials
more
of
than
Tron.
just
That'd be a cool third movie.
Trials
Dude,
of
Jared
Tron. It's
Leto,
like a Tron
star?
fan film.
The Trials of Tron.
Trials of
Or
Tron.
Tron the Trials.
Trials of
Tron.
Tron.
I'd strike down Tron.
The Trials of Tron.
You-
I think
Have
Trials.
you
of
guys
Tron
ever
was
played
good.
That's
Turtles
cool.
in Time, the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes!
Turtles? That game's
Yeah.
so fun.
I-
But my
I've heard of it. I think
favorite
I've-
turtle, Donatello, was broken. I was so upset.
Okay.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Anyway, all new day. All new
Yeah.
direct article talking about Kenobi. So yesterday, our pod
Good.
came out where we broke down 3 articles from the direct. So the direct got an interview with Stuart Beattie, as some of you may have listened to the pod. But he was the writer on the Kenobi movie that got turned into the show, and they've been breaking up this interview with him over, as interviews go in the modern day for clicks. So they break it up. and
Levi's
I
never
thought,
going to that.
Probably not. So, a new one of those pieces came out today, and
Another
when
one.
we recorded
There's
the pod,
4.
I thought, honestly, the Cody one was probably the last one because we just got so much information. I thought, how could there possibly legally be allowed to share more about this script?
Legally.
It is just insane to me that
It's
Disney
kind
is
of weird.
letting
It's
this
kind of weird how much is
be
being
published. And this article,
Said. My God.
it goes the distance. It goes the distance. This is like the most information out of any one of those articles. It's nuts. So I figured I might as well just start reading. Start reading, and we
Let's
can
do
start talking
I
about
haven't read
Kenobi.
this yet, so.
Yeah, this little epilogue to our piece yesterday, and then we have some other stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So, Beattie was pitching this film. There's a little setup here. Pitching it in like 2015, and he went to Lucasfilm, and he told them the 2 core ideas of his story involved Obi-Wan leaving Tatooine and coming face to face with Vader, and he was told, "quote Neither of those things can happen." And so Beattie responded with, "So, it's actually how I got it all going. I convinced them. I said to them, so the big radical idea was Obi-Wan must have left Tatooine at some point in these 19 years. And further than that, he must have had a confrontation with Darth Vader." And they were like, "Neither of those things can happen." And I was like, "Well, no, that must have happened." And
So
they're
they
like,
were
"Why?"
the average fan, because
Yeah.
when everyone heard Kenobi's meeting up with Vader, my first instinct was, well, that can't happen.
And they're like, "Why?" And I said, this is Stuart Beattie talking, "Well, there's a moment in Return of the Jedi where Luke hands himself over to Vader, and he says, 'There's still good in you.' I still believe there's good in you." And Vader's reply is, "Obi-Wan once thought as you do." And I pointed that out to them, and at no point do you ever see that happen in Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan just goes to Mustafar, and they have their big fight, and he leaves him to die. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're right. There must have been a point." And I followed it up with, how does someone talk about Darth Vader betraying and murdering Anakin and actually believe it? There's got to have been more there. And then Padme saying to Obi-Wan as she died in his arms, "There's still good in him." And the idea that he thought Anakin was dead. He thought he killed his brother this whole time. So she was wrong, but now he's alive. And oh my God, maybe she was right. Maybe there is still good in him. So where did Vader get that sense Obi-Wan thought there was still good in him? It was really that line from Return of the Jedi that convinced them to hire me to write the story. And I go, yes, that is what I said. Every time
Wish it was
people
that
were like,
easy. Crazy.
I know, but every time that's the first little chunk. Every time someone was like, why does this story need to be told? I would bring up that damn quote. And I'm so glad that he did as well. And he was like, fools at Disney is real.
Yeah.
And, I
It is funny how one little thing like that can just completely create something like if that line doesn't exist. I don't know if Kenobi exists, you know. Like,
Right. I mean, well,
yeah.
Yeah, just like Rogue One. One
Right.
line in the title crawl.
To be fair, in the show,
Mhm.
I don't know. I wish there was a bigger like Obi-Wan trying to turn Anakin. I mean, I guess him saying sorry is
he
like
apologizes.
yeah. But you know, that's
You wanted him to
neither
make
here
more
nor
of an
there.
effort.
Yeah, a little bit.
I also think it's cool though that he uses the justification that no one. I never thought I personally never thought about the fact that the discrepancy between, like before any Disney bought Star Wars, like discrepancy between Padme saying there's still good in him, and then Obi-Wan saying, "Oh yeah, he betrayed and murdered your father." I never even considered that fact.
Yeah.
As the movies present it, she's like, "Yeah, man, there's still good in him," and then next time you see him, he's like, "Screw that guy." Like that's hard for me to reconcile because people always go, "Oh no, he tried on Mustafar and he failed then." But yeah, Padme literally dying in his arms says, "You gotta keep trying," and yeah, by the next film, that's totally abandoned. And I think ultimately there wouldn't have been a story without that point, and also the fact that George, when reading the original trilogy, didn't have a set plan, and so by making Vader Luke's father, has to make that line. It's all from a certain point of view, and so that whole ethos of Star Wars, which is rooted in the original trilogy, from a certain point of view, creates the window for the story. I agree, though, the Obi-Wan once thought as you do is pretty key.
I would like to know what George thinks about them meeting again, or just I guess Kenobi in general.
Yeah.
Like because obviously I imagine his original vision was Mustafar was the last time they met. I'm sure he didn't intend to tell that story at all, and I think it's probably in writing and stuff that he's worked on that says like, yeah, they haven't seen each other since Mustafar or whatever. But yeah, I think it does make sense that they met again. I think it's overall a good thing, but I'm just wondering what he would think.
Yeah.
I know we spent a lot of time, breaking down some of why we didn't like his Stewart's ideas on yesterday's pod, and I just but here to me demonstrates he knew, like him knowing that, being like, no, you got to have this story there. I think.
I mean, yeah, it's
I think he had the best of intentions.
I wish this guy was
I don't
actually involved in the final product, because I feel like his at least
well,
his,
here, let's finish this article
intentions
before you
were there. Yeah.
Let's finish this article before you.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see. Let's.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you purposely not say the headline?
Yeah, I purposely have not said the headline.
Okay. Well, I don't shoot myself in the foot.
It's
going.
quite an odd one.
It's a weird one.
Odd one.
Anyway, I can agree that I agree with Stewart's premise, so I'm there with it. And so here he starts
in that degree, yes.
So then he starts describing his script even more. So this is a quote now. To me, Vader in this period is just so obsessed with Kenobi, so obsessed with revenge and what you did to me, that he just wants to put a lightsaber to him. And he doesn't want this to last another second. He wants to kill this guy. In my film, he was under pressure from the Emperor from the beginning. Forget Kenobi. That's Anakin. Let it go. Focus on the present. We've got this problem. And this problem, and Vader just can't let go. In mine, he believed Kenobi was dead at the end, which was the thing that allowed him to finally let go and focus on ruling the galaxy with Iron Fist, because it always seemed that way in A New Hope. He was shocked when he was like, I sense something, a presence I've not felt since. Why do you stop talking to yourself? It's just because you're that shocked, So I always felt that there was a moment when he suddenly realized, oh my God, he's alive. I mean, in the next scene, he's talking to Tarkin, and Tarkin's like, what? No, he's dead. He's got to be dead. But no, he's alive. So I felt that was justified. And really the only way that Vader would have stopped hunting Kenobi is that he believed Kenobi was dead. And but there's a lot more. And honestly, I'm just going to keep reading because I don't want to not have the context of this. So he goes on to say, in mine, Vader won the fight. They were fighting on the space station. It was falling apart in atmosphere of this big planet, and Obi-Wan basically fell off. Vader pushed him off, and they separated. They didn't get a chance to find Obi-Wan, basically. But what was going through Obi-Wan's mind is the same thing, which is, my brother is truly dead. He's gone. And while I absolved of that guilt because I didn't kill him, Vader killed him. I'm still just devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. So here, there's more, but I want to stop and pause and talk.
Big no there.
He
You
lost the
can't have
battle.
Vader. You can't have Vader win the last fight.
Right? That's what I'm
It just
saying.
don't make no sense. Like
Yeah,
it seems
like-
like he's so like, oh, like look at the nitty gritty settle of what the OT had.
I know, that's what I'm like. You violate the biggest line, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
when I last left you. I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Now he
Like,
is the master.
you can't have him lose the fight and have that continuity. Like he even holds on to the like, oh well, he seems surprised, so therefore he must have won. No, I don't.
Right.
I don't think that's the case at all.
No,
like,
that
what?
is.
I think that's bizarre.
The
That's
presence
bizarre.
I haven't felt since. And he just walks away.
Yeah, like I don't know. That line is so
It's like
ambiguous.
sniffing. He's like trying to smell.
I also don't like the fact that the theme of my brother is truly dead, he's gone, and while I absolve of that guilt because I didn't kill him, Vader killed him, I'm still just devastated, is what's going through Obi-Wan's mind. It's not something that is said, it's what he thinks as he's falling.
Oh yeah.
Meaning that kind of that intention would be in the scene and not actually like
Right.
dialogue, which
That's
to me
like
is
something
like
you'd put in a book. But
Yeah, exactly.
that doesn't translate.
exactly, but him falling down this burning space station, I have a hard time. Yeah, if Obi-Wan gets his ass kicked, then
Yeah, I think what we got was so much better where they're having a conversation, and like Obi-Wan just like he literally is told like, nah, this ain't you, bro. I killed Anakin and stuff like that. I think that's so much better.
I do
would
think
second that.
I do think Stewart hits on a good note about how the Emperor's perspective is that Kenobi is tying Vader back to Anakin, and he wants to kill. He wants Anakin as his past, and
Right.
Anakin, there is still good in him, but he doesn't want Anakin. He wants Anakin gone, and that being a motivator for why the Emperor is so hell bent on getting him to forget Kenobi and move on so they can rule the galaxy and do Sith stuff. I that makes sense to me. And
Yeah.
like telling him to leave Anakin in the past, I like that. I think that's a good motivation, but I don't know if I like. I don't know if I like the fact that yeah, he wins and it's just like, oh yeah, he's gone. I'm just gonna stop.
Right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's kind of weird.
Bit rough.
Yo,
It's
Star Wars
odd.
Mania. Hello,
Hello.
Liam Wrench. Good to see you.
Obi-Wan's
Yeah. So
faster. I don't
There's
think
more.
I
There's
don't
more.
think Vader
dude.
could move. I don't think Vader was able to catch up to Obi-Wan in the fight.
right.
Well, here's another thing. I'll just read the next little quote and we can start talking again, because this is right off the next quote. To me, if Obi-Wan has a chance to kill Darth Vader, he would do it. I mean, how many countless lives would you save, right? Especially knowing that Vader would be hunting other Jedi, which was
Right.
established in the show. My film began with Vader taking on 5 Jedi at once and killing them all. So it established that he's the big Jedi
That would
killer.
have been cool.
The Inquisitors are capturing them, but Vader is the big daddy who comes in and just lays waste to any Jedi, all while hunting Kenobi.
Huh.
So there's
Yeah.
another quote.
That's definitely something that I think one of my first reactions was like, oh, he's ready to kill him. Why didn't he?
That was always a very jarring part of the episode at first, but now I kind of understand it.
Well, I think
but
just like
it
with the
was
show, there's
presented in the wrong way.
there's so many ups and downs
Yeah.
of like I think
Would have
this
loved
film,
to have seen that scene. by the
this
way.
yeah this
So
film
nice.
sounds like it would have had some great stuff and also some thematically some weird stuff, because his justification for oh yeah, well, Obi-Wan would easily kill Vader, but so his answer to that is to have Vader win the fight is like, no, I don't I don't think that's right.
It's like if if the fight in the actual show ended with Kenobi under the rocks. And he
Yeah,
evaded
that's
the
just
wall
how it ended.
Successfully.
It's like, what?
I
That'd be
think
quite an odd.
the way I could see around it, and I still think I like what we got better, but I could see Obi-Wan thinking that Vader's dead. Maybe he force pushes him down like a pit or something, or the literally the roles reversed in what this guy's original plot was, where Obi-Wan thinks that he killed Vader. I think that could have worked.
I like the idea that Obi-Wan just can't.
Yeah,
He can't do it. He can't bring himself to do it.
it ain't for him to
Yeah.
do.
I think that is a lot more thematically powerful for Star Wars
Yeah,
than
I would like to know. I mean, I'd like to hear behind the scenes about any Star Wars project, but I would like to know their intention in that scene, like what their thought process is when they wrote that.
Well, speaking of some behind the scenes stuff, Brent made me aware of this, but Kyle Katarn, who's a fellow Star Wars YouTuber, a really cool influencer in the space. I wish we met him at Celebration. but he just had the production designer of Obi-Wan Kenobi on his show and did like a 2-hour interview, which I've listened to. And the production designer confirmed that they started filming in late spring, early summer last year and filmed for 3 months, and then that was it.
Wow.
And so they turned the show around in about a year from starting filming the whole show, and they were filming up until like 9-10 months ago, which is just,
I count when they stop shooting for them to be that be the turnaround, but like that's
still crazy.
Almost less than a year. That's insane.
And he was talking about how because he was attached to the
that.
project, he was telling the story, and I'm relaying to you. I recommend to go watch the full interview because I won't do it justice. But he was he's a production designer, so he was working on another film in Budapest. He's in Europe working on a film, and he had friends who were they were doing pre-production on the Kenobi film in London.
Wow. And
then when that project got scrapped, he moved. They lost some people. Everyone got sent home. Then he came back and started working on. Eventually, like a couple years later, he came back and started working on the final script version, and so the version that we had. And he said there wasn't, from what he came onto the project, which was about in 2020, fall 2020, there wasn't much change in the script. And remember when we talked about in the pod, the second big reset of the show was in May of 2020 when they sent everyone home again. So by the time this guy came on, that was pretty much, like he said, that was how the show went. But the fact that they were doing pre-production, Doug Chiang was doing pre-production because he worked with Doug Chiang, like he's a production designer. Doug Chiang's on there too. They were doing on the film version of this. Crazy to me. Like this Stuart Beattie script we're talking about was in pre-production. That blows my mind that's how close we were to getting these different versions.
Right. Huh.
Crazy.
It's whack.
Crazy.
Hey.
But I just want to comment about
Also,
the
is this
production.
guy like salty? Is that the vibe I'm getting? That this guy's like kind of mad that his show
Oh, man, let me
thing
see
didn't
it.
get made, and he's just like going wild.
Dude,
Corey?
Mandalorian Crusades are sick.
What's up, Corey? How you doing?
How we doing?
Appreciate the love on the Twitter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
just think about that
interesting.
though. I think that's crazy, the turnaround.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I know it. It's so quick.
It also
It's
shows
so
though.
quick. I just don't
You
want
can,
that.
like,
I know
yeah.
that's the thing. That's what I think. I think that's the antithesis with what I've been saying this entire time.
But hey, you know what? They spent.
They
Why does it
didn't
keep
have
doing
time
that?
to grab the tripod, so they just held the cameras.
And he talks about Chung Hun Chung.
Right. Yeah. They just
He talks
held
about
it.
him in the interview. The
Yeah.
cinematographer.
It just too quick, man. I hope that's not for the rest of the shows because I don't.
They
so
but they
it's
spent 7 days of
weird.
that 100-day production cycle painting Freck's truck. So applying the rust layer.
The
to make
biggest,
it-
the rust layer. All right.
However,
biggest part of
I will say another detail about it
will say.
is that he gave a breakdown on how many sets were used and relocations versus volume and the percentages. And he said only about 40% of Obi-Wan is on the volume, and that a lot of the show, over half of the show, is sets and
Wow.
on location
all
shooting.
right, hold on. Tatooine.
I know, but the fact that maybe the DP holding this back more than we thought. Just saying. He said episode 2 was the most volume heavy on Dayu, and
Right,
that was
Dayu,
the
of course.
set that used the most visual effects.
Pretty much episode 3 was all not.
Of course.
Episode 3 wasn't.
It's a tight race between you and Freck, but I think.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
correct in that.
Yeah. Corey. Yeah. Definitely.
Corey said he shot on location.
Yes, you were Corey. Yeah, you're our favorite part.
We already did it.
Oh well, he's commented twice. But I didn't see it. Anyways,
So yeah, allegedly. Allegedly the middle chapter, the middle version of the script that by Hossein Amini was allegedly the one that did not make it through. Anyway, I'd like to continue reading because there's more. There's even more. I just read the quote about Vader. He's like, "Oh, you got to kill Vader." And so here, Beatty then wanted to explain what it meant for Obi-Wan when he saw Anakin's face. Yeah, to me, he's looking at Anakin, and Anakin does come through. That's the moment where Obi-Wan is thinking, is this a moment to rescue my friend and bring him back and end all this? Because remember, all the guilt goes away. All the problems go away if Anakin is still alive and can be brought back to the light. That's option B, that Obi-Wan never thought was an option because he thought Anakin was dead. So option A, the only option, was that Luke was Luke. So all of a sudden, he's now presented with option B. And instantly, you don't have to wait for Luke to grow up and get back to his powers and training. You can go instantly right now. Bring Anakin back and boom. The two of you guys pay a visit to Palpatine and it's over. To me, that whole story was building to what was the moment, to that moment when I had Obi-Wan take the helmet off or slash the helmet and give him that scar. That was what it was all building to. And the whole reason to tell that story was the moment for him to see Anakin. And in that moment to realize Anakin has been killed. He said, this is Vader now. So that understanding to go through Obi-Wan, so that now he knows Vader did betray and murder Anakin Skywalker and that they are separate people. And that to me, I like the way, I like the themes of that, but I like the way they're executed in the show more than I think Vader winning the fight. I
think that's, yeah. And it seems like that's kind of the agreement we've come to, is that it seems that while the
Stewart
movie
has good ideas.
has good ideas, I think
and this would have been the same script with
these
Comedy
things were
Cody.
presented better in the show. Yeah.
Comedy Cody.
This is the
Comedy
same script
Cody.
with Comedy Cody. So imagine a 2-hour movie with all of this stuff just jammed into it.
That's a lot.
Could have been good. Could have been kind of nuts, but also probably could have been pretty messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some glaring decisions that I think I'm glad that we don't have.
I agree.
For instance, this one, but you know.
I can imagine the Obi-Wan trilogy or whatever starting with sort of a
Right, this is
honestly,
the trilogy too. I don't forget.
Honestly,
Yeah,
it sounds kind of like episode 9 in the way that there's all these ideas just jammed together. Like it would start
It's
with
just like a vomit of a...
it would
I don't
start
think it was
with
that.
it would start
it's
with
that
Darth
bad?
Vader killing all these Jedi, 5 Jedi. Then you would cut to Obi-Wan on Tatooine getting a knife to
Well,
his
is that
throat
is
from
that a
Commander
scene
Cody.
or is that gonna be like a plot line with Vader?
It was the opening scene of the film. Was him.
Yeah. That's kind of dope though.
I'm not saying it's not dope. I'm saying it's a lot of cool ideas jammed into 2 hours. Like the show, for better or worse, is over, 4.5 or whatever. For a 2-hour movie to like, this stuff was moving fast because you're gonna go from that badass Vader scene, Cody. Like then you got bounty hunters. He said coming after Owen, and they find Owen. Then they're dumping the bodies in the in the Sarlacc pit, and then like he would go off.
Like you could have a whole episode dedicated to Cody if it was a show, like for that to be a 2.5-hour movie. Like you gotta move fast.
You gotta move fast. And then ending with some sort of, you would have the other religion and have that whole mother thing, the goddess.
Right.
And like then that would build to him being on
Which
the space
I
station.
think that's a cool idea.
I think that's cool. I don't know. It just, to me, like I get hesitant about how would you execute on all of these ideas? Because then in there too, you have the vision of him fighting Luke on Mustafar, and like
I don't think it's that crazy.
I think it's kind of crazy.
That
Thematically, I mean,
that just feels like I don't know. It just feels like like how many ideas go into a movie.
I just don't think I just don't think Cody could be in it. I think I could see what you're saying as long as Cody wasn't there. If you don't have a Cody subplot on Tatooine where he's watching over Luke Skywalker, I agree with you. But the fact that they would have to work in all of those beats,
The Cody stuff's weird, yeah.
yeah, the Cody stuff would just drag the whole thing down for me.
Yeah, he did make it seem like it was very
Because for people like us, it's like whoa, give us we want like a lot of Cody stuff. Then if you you're gonna have to explain it where he's been all this time. But for the casual viewer, it's like this is a random character and they're not spending enough time on him. Like it's just some guy that we
hopefully
don't really know.
people would understand that he's at least a clone.
Oh, they would understand that.
Sure, yeah, but it's still.
I think equally, I think equally people would be like, "Why are we doing this?"
It's still a little confusing. I mean, even if you've seen the prequels and you're like a casual fan, it's like.
I think we all agree with this too. I think the best story for him is going to be in Bad Batch, or the best option.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, and then Corey says, I feel like I've seen 10 different versions of what the series is supposed to be in the last week. Yeah, it seems like there was
a lot of stuff
definitely many versions.
Well, here, get ready for
this project was going to be.
Get ready for one more quote. The comedy elements.
Right.
So, when asked to talk more about Palpatine role in the original script, the writer briefly described a comedic scene between the Emperor and Vader.
Man.
Palpatine was sending Vader to crush rebel uprising on a moon somewhere, and once again, there's another story. Like this is like a show. It's like a show. And he was saying, "Forget Kenobi, forget Kenobi." And I had this really funny line. I thought was funny, but it was Vader saying, "Look, Kenobi is one of the 2 biggest threats, in the galaxy." And the Emperor responds, "Pity you didn't kill him when you had the chance." And Vader responds, "The other one is Yoda." And the Emperor just gets really pissed off of him and goes, "You forget your place," laughs. So he's on him from the start. Let this go. That's Anakin. You're Darth now.
I don't think that's crazy bad, but
It's on the line.
I can't
Yeah,
necessarily see
it's-
Vader say like.
I'm trying to
If
imagine
they were
like
like doing
Vader-
the timing.
Hold on. He was like, don't
Choke
choke
on you. And I think that's bad. I don't think it's
Yeah.
Don't choke on your aspirations, director.
But also, if he's thinking like it's a comedy and there's like, yeah, I don't know if that works. I
Yeah,
don't
there's a lot
like
of-
that.
I don't know how much you've read, Corey, but there was a lot of Commander Cody comedy
It
as well.
seems so.
Yeah.
Yes. There was an entire
Hey,
B plot. that
Remember
seemed
when
to
I
seemed to
killed
be-
you?
I gotta protect I gotta protect
shot you.
Luke Skywalker.
I gotta protect Luke Skywalker on Tatooine.
Tatooine.
The sands of
Tatooine.
Tatooine with Luke Skywalker. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with Dylan. I don't think the content of the joke is like out of Star Wars context because that's like playing on something in canon. But Vader delivering like the other one is Yoda after like the Emperor responds is like a Yoda after like a zinger.
Yeah.
Like
I could
don't
see
know.
like
That's-
Palpatine saying something along the lines of that to Vader. You know?
Yeah, as like a
Where-
whole quote, but
yeah.
the way that he breaks up the like, I could see someone having trouble because in my head I went, okay, that sounds like a cool
Right.
joke, and I tried to write it in my head, like how would
Or
you
what
have?
if Vader was just like, what if Yoda or something?
I know, but
yeah.
how would you say? Because the
I get
Vader
what you're
line is
saying, I mean,
quote,
we-
look, Kenobi is one of the two biggest threats. Like it's a setup for a joke. You say two, and then the Emperor like cuts him off and goes, well, you should have killed him when you had the chance, the first one. And he finishes, well, there were two, and the other one is Yoda. Like I was just trying
Yeah,
to
you don't
think
think
of-
Palpatine don't know he's walking right into that?
I know,
one?
yeah, like it's like he's like walking. Yeah, Palpatine strolling into the joke. Like I don't know.
That kind of seems like a
I don't know.
thing that I always
right
say if just fans got to write or like us kind of fans got to write everything where it's like, yo, we should mention like Yoda, like that'd be sick.
Zinger, Vader,
Like
got
fans,
him.
fans would love if Vader
Vader's
remembered
been
Yoda.
a little jokey.
I'm not
here
saying
and
Vader's
there.
not been jokey, but
No,
I'm saying the
Vader-
way that joke
I mean,
is
he's
written
Anakin.
is like hard for
He's
for Vader to
Anakin, but
deliver
he's
in
still
my
like.
head.
Sometimes I like to listen, even in the OT. I like to listen to Vader, and I try to picture Anakin saying it, and it works sometimes. I think it like genuinely works.
How did Cody get on Tatooine? That is a good question.
He's trying to be his life coach.
No, I know, but how does Cody? Well, he got his chip out. That's for
He gets
one.
the chip out and he's like,
But then-
man, I regret everything. I gotta go find Obi-Wan
Gotta go
and-
find Obi. I
and-
don't know.
Find him.
and protect him or something.
It
or like,
seems like when the movie opened, or at least this version of the movie, it just like he's just already there. So
maybe. Oh well, thank you, Corey, for watching. us
Thank you,
religiously.
Corey.
We've only put out one
Religiously.
video in the last like 2 weeks, so religiously is thank you. Yes, it's an
well,
easy.
I mean, we have old videos, do we not,
We do.
Levi?
They're out there.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I don't want to put anything on Corey. Anyway, so yeah, I think
No,
in summary, like there is some stuff in
Thank
there
you,
that I
Corey.
like I think the spectacle, like the space station falling out of orbit while they fight, that's spectacle. That's
Yeah.
better than that might be better than Rock
Then
Moon, you know?
Rock Spire Planet. Yeah.
Rock Spire
Chad,
Planet.
I don't want to hear that. Fan films are great too. I'm a fan film defender. I don't like people use that term. No offense to you, Chad, but you know. Okay, so he was right. Just one.
But you know, like I think there is. I don't want to crap all over Stuart. I want to say like these are creatives. I want to.
Is Stuart a friend of the show?
I think Stuart's
Not
a friend.
yet.
I think
Nah, he's
I'd
like-
bring Stuart on.
He's
Man,
Oh,
gets
I'd bring
a
him
story.
on.
Well, would we bring him on? Of course we would. Anyone
Dude,
related? to
kick
Star Wars
Stuart
would bring on.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of good ideas in there, and he has some good thematic takes too. Like he and I see eye to eye on why the story
There's-
had to happen.
there's-
But there's
yeah,
also some like I think Joby took it in a better direction
Right.
because he clearly Joby lifted scenes from this. You know, oh. Speaking of that, the eye thing, slashing the face. The production designer, because Kyle Katarn,
Oh, the
he was
helmet,
asking, he was asking good questions because he's a fan. He's a completionist. He's read everything, Legends, canon. He knows, and he was like, "Did you consciously make the decision about, Ahsoka slashing one side, Luke taking the whole mask off, Obi-Wan slashing the other?" Excuse me, and
Oh.
he said that was like a Dave Filoni decision, and I was like, "Ooh."
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, that's good.
Yeah,
I like that. So
like
he
that a
also
lot.
mentioned how Dave and
love
John
to hear
were
that.
read the scripts and gave feedback
Yeah.
to Deb
I would hope
And
so.
that they weren't on set every
One
day, but
would
they were reading the scripts,
Yeah.
and that particular moment, like there was stuff that was very particular. He also talked about how they had Fallen Order up, like looking at it to design like Forces Inquisitorius the inside. Like Doug Chang helped design that. They had the Vader comics out like on set, like matching the stuff. Like they are
Good.
fans too,
That's
and I
big
thought
stuff,
that,
yeah,
I thought that's cool. Like
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
Lucasfilm employees are majority fans of Star Wars, if not all.
But the fact that the
People don't like to say they are.
the lightsaber slash on the
Right.
certain side matching the thing being intentional, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
That it's not
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean,
a,
it's
Yeah, yeah.
poetic.
It's not
you
just
know?
us.
I love
it's not
swinging
just like a
gaps.
fan theory that
Yeah.
like he was like,
Levi,
oh, I think that was
I thought
the
this.
right
I thought this question was funny. 'Cause we were talking about this the other day.
1/4 portion. What?
Do you remember?
Were we?
Yeah.
What I would write?
Our
Oh,
yeah.
Well, okay. I don't think of that as a portion.
Is it well?
I see.
We're very
Uh,
interested in the Empire after Return of the Jedi.
after Return, like, but before Battle of Jakku. So
Before,
like
yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
that is a really rich time period for me. My favorite book trilogy in Star Wars, the Aftermath is good too, but the
Aftermath
Alphabet
is-
Squadron is my
yeah.
favorite books.
Mhm.
Alexander Freed, they're like it's about the squadron of pilots in that era. I don't know, so good, very very good. But if I don't know if that like, I think that era is ripe for storytelling potential. But in terms of if I were given a whole portion of
I
Star
guess
Wars to
Clone
write,
Wars.
yeah, I think I'd probably have to go.
Clone Wars is too rich.
I mean, honestly, I think I'd go post Tross. I'd go after the sequels.
Post.
Somewhere that's just totally open.
Yeah, that'd be
You know,
pretty
I-
sweet.
not
I'd
a
go
lot of
pretty
con-
far, actually. I think. Well, I don't know.
I might go before.
Before
I might go
Pre-Tross.
pre-Tross, a
Or,
little bit of
no,
pre-Tross.
before Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking that. Like, I'd like to see like maybe like Mace Windu as a Padawan, like that
Well,
area.
Tales of the Jedi has given us
Well,
some younger.
Yeah.
Younger, well, but still. Great question though. Oh yes, just hoping for Rex and Cody and Ahsoka. I think we all are. So
Which, by the way,
fingers crossed.
I see that we have 20 viewers here,
Yeah,
interesting.
21 now.
and
Thank
I
you, everybody,
appreciate
for being
I
here.
appreciate you being here.
Just you though. We don't.
Just you though. Yeah,
Just
you.
Johnny-
I'm,
just
talk- I'm,
Johnny
talk-
and
I'm
Dylan.
talking to you. You know who you,
You,
are.
the one viewer.
The one viewer. You know who you are.
If you're hearing this right now,
You.
it's just going to you. This isn't going to anyone else.
Hey, we're losing.
Shout
We're
out.
losing him. We're losing him.
Shout out.
All right, keep talking about what
Levi's
Kenobi
fault.
could have been.
Kenobi.
I blame
Anyway,
Levi.
So the other story, which is
Corey
honestly,
read the Vader comics on set. Shout
that's
out.
canon. Hashtag canon. The Vader comics are now canon in Star Wars.
Yeah.
If he was reading them on set, then that makes it,
Yeah.
does that retroactively make like a loop of canon?
Yeah. I
Like
guess so.
maybe in one of Corey's pouches was like the Vader comic.
Vader comic.
Like he
Oh,
pulls it out on
that'd be
set,
kinda cool.
That's what Vader was coming for. He was like, he gotta get rid of those, man.
Issue.
Cor- remember-
24. of
That's
Darth
the
Vader
limited
by
edition
Charles Soule.
cover.
Yeah. Yeah, this
I believe
variant
that. I
cover is
believe
really
that Corey is
badass.
a. I believe that Corey is a Jedi. I believe that in my heart.
Yeah,
We'll
They just
find out.
couldn't show
possibly.
it. I believe he's a
force
Jedi.
sensitive. Could be force
That,
sensitive.
that one of those lightsabers was his.
Corey is Star Wars.
Okay.
fan.
While we're because we're just sort of rambling here, we're in a little bit of a liminal podcast space.
There's more to talk.
There's a lot
about.
more to talk about. For me, I think this is the biggest story of the day.
Just for you. Okay.
Well, just because I can't stop talking about it, but ever since I saw that stupid photo on Vanity Fair of Mon Mothma, my brain exploded for Andor, and I've been more excited for Andor than anything else since I saw that Vanity Fair cover issue.
Been there,
And-
done that.
And Tony Gilroy, every time he
Here's
talks,
a new picture and.
look at that. I'm like, oh my god,
Beautiful.
I think that looks sick.
He's got like a
so.
Star-Lord jacket on.
I think that's everything about that image. I love it.
We like it.
But every
That
time
jacket is awesome.
every time Tony Gilroy, the showrunner, opens his mouth about Andor and he talks about how much is planned out, his every little aspect of the show, the
You are,
creators know
Corey,
what
you
they're
are.
doing.
In my heart.
It seems like the biggest thing. This seems like something that Star Wars would have been working on for the last 3 years that we wouldn't have been getting anything else. Like we've been getting shows in between, but like the amount of effort that's going into this. So I mean, let me just read you. Let me just.
Which I've said in the past, I wish that effort was divided a little bit more, maybe in more of Kenobi, but
Well, here, let me tell you. The now confirmed second season will
Andor's got a great team.
also consist of 12 episodes spanning the other 4 years and leaving off right where Rogue One begins. That's a massive 5-year, 24-episode tale. And speaking to Empire in the new issue, creator Tony Gilroy dug a little deeper into the structure and how the series will play out. Quote, "The scale of the show is so huge. Directors work in blocks of 3 episodes, arcs. So we did 4 blocks in season 1 of 3 episodes each. that shooting
And they're
schedule
and they're gonna be
organically
a
led.
Clone Wars type beat.
That shooting schedule organically led to seasons 2 different structure. We looked and said, wow, it'd be really interesting if we come back and we use each block to represent a year. So we'll move a year closer, which each block. That's so awesome. From a narrative point of view, it's really exciting to be able to work on something where you do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then jump a year. And then there's more to say. But that alone, that the first season is this year that's 5 years before, and then they're just doing, I just think that's so cool that they have every little piece of this planned out, like meticulously. And that gets me hyped beyond, I don't know, this is so good. Like
this could be one of the best Star Wars things of all time, right? Like
I've been saying this.
I mean, like,
saying this.
What makes good Star Wars
Go
to
back.
me, I think, among other things, but production is the planning and the thoughtfulness and the like.
They have an all-star team, and when I mean
the
an all-star
preparation.
team, I mean an all-star team.
And just you watch the
Ashes.
trailer, it's like this is gonna be different. This is gonna be different than anything we've gotten. At least visually.
frame
and it
It's beautiful, and
looks
again,
incredible.
the team, and again the planning. So this, I love how it's you can compare it to Clone Wars in a way. I love this. I love the structure of it.
What a great way! Yeah, what a great way to
going through
structure
arcs
that
with
too, where it's like year by year.
Yeah.
Which
Um,
means,
You love
think
that.
about what this means. That means we're crossing well into Rebels territory and comics territory where we're going to, I think for sure, because now that we know, we were at Celebration, we know the Rebels crew is going to be in live action. So once that is, that's out there
I
in
have a
Ahsoka,
very strong
think-
feeling.
I think very easily we're seeing Hera, we're seeing Sabine in
Hera
in-
at
in-
least.
at the very
least.
Hera.
And let me just give you guys, while
Chopper
I have
too,
your
of course.
attention.
She's around. And
Well, I have your attention, both Dylan, because I know Johnny, you know this, but and in the audience, because I want fans to know this because this is so hype. But just a quick
Andor's
spark
in
notes,
safe hands.
a quick spark notes of who is running the show. So obviously Tony Gilroy, showrunner, he's done Rogue One and the Bourne Identity films. His brother is also writing. He wrote Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Great
yeah,
movie.
Amazing. Stephen Schiff, known for The Americans, writer and producer of The Americans. Bo Williamson, the creator and writer of the first 4 seasons of House of Cards on Netflix. Amazing political stuff. Then
Better than Joby Harold here. All right.
a little bit. Then you come to the directing department. The first 3 directed by Toby Haynes, who did Doctor Who, Sherlock, Black Mirror. Keep going. Susanna.
Good list.
Yeah, I know.
What episodes of Black Mirror does it say? What he did?
Yeah, he did. Remember we talked about he did the Orville one, the Star Trek
Oh,
one,
the Star
parody,
Trek
and
one. Yeah.
or not parody, but like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Good. Love that.
It's too good.
Yeah.
It's too good.
This is Disney putting their money in the right
And then
places.
sorry, some of the other directors. Man,
I don't know
got to
if
cut in again. Benjamin Carson,
Let me get back.
Game of Thrones. You may have heard of it. He directed some of the biggest episodes of Game of Thrones. That,
Didn't
you know
even-
that could be good.
Yeah, that seems like a good thing.
That
As long as
seems-
it's not the last season, I think we're good.
No, yeah, not the last.
No, it's not the last season stuff. So yeah.
Like that he might know a thing or two.
Even then, the direction was never bad of those.
Still nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
It's gonna be awesome, and it's funny
So-
too because this is the show that me included is like we don't need an Andor show. What are you talking about? Cassian
At
Andor,
first.
the man that
At
dies at the end of Rogue One. Like we don't need that, but it sounds like
I
we
will
do.
say,
It sounds like there's gonna be so much more too. I feel like we're gonna get so much world building.
yes, even in the trailer, how much world building we got
yeah.
within the trailer. is
Exactly,
insane.
and like
And-
Mon
and-
Mothma, oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Coruscant, dude, we're getting the Senate stuff, Imperial Senate. Like,
Yeah.
let's go, dude. We don't see that. You don't see that nowadays.
I think a
Um,
big part of what these like rebel or OT or anything within the eras of stuff we haven't already or stuff we have seen, I think a big part of it should be maybe not a big part, but a good part of it should be to service that other stuff that it's within. And I think Andor is gonna do that like very, very well.
Very well.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta cut in. Benjamin Caron, I forgot. He's directing the final 2 episodes. He directed The Crown on Netflix. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
We like that.
more esteemed directors who are just steeped in political thrillers and just it's so good. Like it's the God Squad.
So Dylan, you were saying, I wonder if it just seems like they have more budget in this show. While that might be true, this has been the show that has really been worked on. I would say for the longest period, this show has been worked on for the longest period. I mean, this seemed to be a plan, pretty much straight after Rogue One. There started to be at least talks about it.
It was
Yeah.
first
And again,
mentioned.
They had they had all the the people from who were just finishing up Rise of Skywalker. They all moved and positioned themselves
As
into
early
Andor.
as November 8th, 2018,
Wow.
it was
Yeah,
known.
So this was
And it was
this
never
was
going to
very
be a
much
movie or
Nope,
something
it was
else.
always announced. It was
a
a
no,
show.
always a show,
Yeah,
always a
that's
show.
huge.
So you saying the budget thing? I mean, sure, but the coolest thing is that these people who a
They
lot of
also
them were
didn't
brought
cheat
in.
on the volume at all.
Well, yeah, no volume,
that out
and they were
there.
brought in.
Yeah.
But again, all the prop
No
masters,
disrespect to the volume, but
everybody there, they started working on Andor. So Andor has been worked on, and I just
This
feel like
is-
it's been weird because the other shows have not had
The sequel
that big of a
trilogy
team. or
Right.
production
quality?
teams all moved on to Andor.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been working on.
right.
Like, I've mentioned this in the
That's
conversation with Johnny.
What I was.
Neil Scanlon, who you see. I just didn't hear you mention the sequel thing. Neil Scanlon, who you see in all the behind the scenes, head of the creature shop, the in-house one at Lucasfilm. You see him in all the behind the scenes docs for
he's
most
been
modern Star
working
Wars stuff.
on
He's been working on Andor.
this. Right
Yeah.
after Rise of Skywalker, they also
They
moved
moved on to this.
this.
They've all been working on this, and I would encourage people to go back and watch that because people forget about it. But they did that little behind the scenes reel in 2020 at the Investor Day, almost 2 years ago now, and before that, a behind the scenes one that they've released since at D23 in 2019 of just footage of them working on the creatures and like
Right.
just the
Yeah,
sets
I remember
and the
that. Yeah.
scale.
And it looked amazing. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
like this is
And
where
I-
this is, yeah.
Yeah, I my only thing is I just wish that like the effort was divided a little bit more into other
Yeah.
shows. Not that I'm saying a majority of these shows we've gotten so far have been
I'm-
poorer quality.
I
But
will
I mean,
say,
like
though,
compared to Andor,
I feel like we've been moving on a bit of a downward trend. Like, there's a clear difference between Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian in terms of production quality, and I think that goes with Kenobi as well. I think that, I mean, just down to the set, like, I felt like Book of Boba Fett didn't feel right, or there are some things wrong about like some of the productions. Whereas The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
I thought like always nailed it. Like sometimes the volume looked a little, iffy, or like it felt closed, but I don't know. I feel like this is just going to be so different. And I hope they continue on with this momentum. Like, if it is, I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but I hope that they like.
I get.
continue
Well, I
to
don't
do
think
stuff like
the
this.
quality will diminish between the two seasons, but I can't say for other things.
Right. Yeah. Well, because they're going to want to keep using the volume. I mean, it's
Right,
like, it makes
right.
sense.
Yeah,
to
that's not
keep
gonna
it,
stop.
like-
So.
Which to just bring it back around in the greater nerd space, it's possible that the biggest thing I've seen Thor: Love and Thunder getting crapped on for is its visual effects right now.
Oh, no.
It was shot in the volume.
And it's the first Marvel movie shot
Really? Wow.
almost entirely in the volume.
I mean, it's the future. Netflix I think they bought the biggest one and they're using it on the Avatar show.
no, really?
Yeah.
didn't know that.
They have the biggest volume.
Really?
Yeah.
The stagecraft, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And that's like the first thing they're using it for is Avatar.
Another thing. Here's a little fun little note for those of you who care about the production side of it. Kyle Katarn asked the production designer about the shot in Book of Boba Fett where the volume it's the one shot in episode 5 in Return of the Mandalorian where it goes into the elevator and down, what I'm
Right,
talking
yeah,
about,
yeah.
on the ring world on Glavis.
Right.
And he was like, how did you guys do that? I mean, that looks so good. Like, and he's like, I can't tell you. That's proprietary technology. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
So
It
that-
wasn't
whatever-
just someone held a camera.
but whatever was going on to make that volume shot work is still so like
Oh, I see. Because the volume had to have been like that. Must have people
cutting
probably
edge
threw up.
and
Well, I mean, yeah. If
And,
you guys don't know,
high
so
tech.
what the camera is basically wired to the LED, like LEDs on the screen. So like when the camera moves, like the background will move to adjust where it needs to be. It's very crazy.
Seems
So
like it
I
would
think
make
they
you queasy.
probably did something like that. But again, they went up an elevator and then.
But
Yeah.
basically, I mean, like Netflix is only getting one of these, because once
So.
Mandalorian behind the scenes came out and they went, the people working on this technology can reverse engineer it from seeing some of it.
Right.
And some of this stuff is, it's what gives the company value. Like the
Yeah.
stagecraft
The coolest
technology
part to me
Disney
is
pioneered, so.
how easy they're able to just like change the background whenever they want. Like the director can literally be standing there.
Yeah,
and be
you can
like,
just,
hey, can you like
hey,
move
hit this
that?
button,
And they
and
go
then,
into
yeah.
the virtual space. They
Yeah.
change it.
You can
It's pretty cool.
literally do anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Also helps to have like millions of dollars.
well. That too.
doesn't hurt.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's really cool because actually, I was watching the Batman behind the scenes stuff the other day. They had a whole documentary or the featurettes or whatever you call it, and they shot a lot of the Batman in the volume, which I don't know if you guys knew.
Really?
So,
I didn't know that at all.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the volume. It's just they use
it's
a
one
kind
of the
of LED
stagecraft
series.
stages. Yeah,
I see,
it's
okay.
similar technology, but I mean it's the volume. So
Right.
I love how it's built. It's really cool. They showed like how they build it, and they have basically LED screens like hundreds of them, and they just like stack them up on these walls. So it's basically like a computer screen. And
Right.
They just stack them up. It's very interesting how
That's awesome.
that works. But anyways, so
The future is now.
we love behind the scenes, but yeah, I mean the volume thing, it's just iffy, man. It's just iffy. Sometimes it just looks really bad, and there was that behind the scenes picture of Hayden with the clones, and
Oh yeah.
and the Jedi Temple volume background. I know shot on like a shittier camera, but
Right.
it looks so bad.
Yeah. Well, the
the
second
background looks
you
awful.
see it at a different angle, I mean, they're
Yeah,
very intentional.
I
like,
guess. Yeah.
The
I mean, that probably is it, but still,
I
ugh.
don't think I've ever seen a shot in these shows. I'm like, wow, the volume looks bad there, because like it always looks, I think, at least good. There are some
I
times.
remember you guys were talking about when that shot on Vader's castle at first. You guys
Okay,
were like, oh, that's
yeah, but
really
I don't
cool.
even know how much of that is like like that could be green screen.
Apparently, that was
You know,
it
it's
wasn't.
silly.
It was that way. That's the funny thing. That wasn't the volume. That was a set that.
That was
That was a set. I think it was just the CGI background then,
Yeah,
which looked very
wait,
odd.
what, like the wall was a part
Yep.
of it? 'Cause that,
pretty
Yeah.
sure it was a set.
Whatever was going on through the
That's what he
window
said.
didn't
That's
look
what the.
right,
I mean, that's what
so-
the production designer said. He said Vader's castle was a set.
that's crazy because that did not
Wow.
look real. Even
'Cause he
I
built-
didn't
he
say
built
that
Vader's
when
throne
I
and all that
watched
stuff.
It, but,
Yeah.
well, I know they built a throne, but then it's the background with the two.
No, I know, but it doesn't make any sense. Like
lava.
it's not an entirely circular environment. Like he was saying, like it didn't make like they just built it. That's what he said. He said they built it. Okay, I don't know. That's what the production says. I don't know the details.
For me, it's really just what's going on in the window.
Yeah, it's the
One,
windows.
there's not a lot going on, and two, it looks
Yeah, it's-
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's the windows.
It looks like a video game.
Probably the windows, yeah. So interesting. But speaking of Thor, we mentioned Thor a minute ago. Taika. So well, obviously Thor was coming out this week, so Taika has been
A lot of interviews.
The director, a lot of interviews with him.
I wanted to talk
I
about
watched the
this.
interview.
You watched it?
I
Okay.
did. So
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this just because.
Taika's been not under fire a little bit, but everything's just been weird and confusing
but
with him. with Star Wars.
the grifters are grifting hard. If you look up Taika Watiti Star
yeah.
Wars, all the thumbnails right now and content that all came out today is all Disney Star Wars is in shambles because Taika forgot about the
Taika's
prequels.
ruining Star Wars.
He's
Yeah,
ruining
it's
Star
one of
Wars.
those things. So
But I just gotta get this out there right now. So
you can get it out there.
the
What if,
context of this,
what if I just mute you? What if I just mute you
It's-
and you don't get it out
the,
there?
the context is Taika is a joke. He's telling a joke, and everyone's
He is
taking
telling
it
a
seriously, and it pisses me off
It's
to
quite
no
odd.
end. I hate it.
Quite odd.
That's it. That's
You
all I
want
gotta
to
say.
explain a little bit?
Basically, he did an interview with Rolling Stone. He's talking about Thor. The guy's talking about Star Wars, and he's Taika, so he's always telling like stories that may or may not be real because he does dry humor. That's what he does,
Mhm.
and he's saying that he was talking to Natalie Portman. There's context to it because he does a previous bit with her too where he didn't know she was in a movie, and he's like. The story he tells is like, oh yeah, are you doing? And Natalie asks him what she's doing next, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing Star Wars. And he goes, oh, have you ever been in one of those? And she's like, yes. And he goes, I forgot
didn't
about
know.
those.
He didn't know she was in.
But
That was like a
but that's
joke.
it's a joke because he references Jar Jar Binks and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith later in the
Oh,
interview.
he's like, oh yeah, I forgot you were in that.
I forgot you in that one. And it's like it's clearly a joke, right? Like I mean, he
No,
talks about
yeah. Well,
It's a weird thing to.
I could see that situation playing out and actually happening, but it being obviously it's a very funny situation.
Well, I think it's probably maybe a real situation, but not in the way that people think. Not like, oh, he'd never seen the prequels before or something. Because he's like I said, he references Jar Jar
Yeah,
Binks,
that's what I just said.
Attack
yeah,
of the
I
Clones, and
think
Revenge
that
of the
it
Sith
was-
in that same interview. There's no way he doesn't know what. It's not like I've never
just
seen
forgot-
the prequels.
He just forgot she was in it. So, and there's more to this though. So, he's
you
been
take it from
asked.
here.
I mean, what is his Star Wars project gonna be? And he's like, I don't really know yet. And I've been trying to do a lot of research, and he just doesn't have the time to do a lot of research because like there's thousands of books and comics and all this stuff, and he can't keep up with it. I guess that's what he's been saying. So, and he's scared about the fandom a little bit, which I think he was saying it in a joking manner. But I mean, I can understand the worry with it. And basically, like he was making a couple of jokes that they wanted to make a movie about
Chewbacca's grandma.
Chewbacca's grandmother. That was gonna
because
be
because
launched, and then-
famously because there've been so many quotes about him about Star Wars, and he
correct.
said that, and everyone was like, "Oh, I guess Taika's doing a new thing," and he's like, "Well, I kind of regret saying that because that sounds kind of cool."
Mhm.
And they're talking
And
about it.
then the Jar Jar Binks movie. That was another one.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks as ET.
Um,
Yeah,
As AT, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I just think people. I think it's more. I mean, long story short, he doesn't really know either. One day he'll figure it out. Not
I
today
think.
though.
See, the read I got on it was, long story short, he can't say. I think he knows more than he's letting on, because he's saying like
Probably.
he says that the whole thing about the books and the comics, and he says, "I'm not saying I'm not doing something that's based like referencing
Yeah,
something
right.
else."
There was yeah. Is it?
Like,
Is it stuff
I think
within
he's straight up just I think he's
canon? We know. or
both
is it
a funny
outside of
guy
it?
and he's also playing dumb, because I think he knows. I think he knows. I think he knows what's
Well,
going
I
on
do
more than
believe that he doesn't have time to research it because he's a very busy man. He just was doing it. He just did.
I know,
whole
but
show.
there's literally people at Lucasfilm who do that for you. That's what Pablo Hidalgo does.
Oh, I know, but he want. I mean, I can understand him wanting to have input on that. So it's just. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I also think that he is a goofer.
I
and a
do.
joker,
Yeah,
and,
I mean, clearly, if you watch the interview, he's
and just
seems like he's drunk. Honestly.
yeah, the opening where he picks up the
Yeah.
the Marvel Legends and knocks
Sorry,
over the guitar.
And he started breaking Korg.
Yeah, he's like, what? I like how he didn't understand. Like they don't
This
understand
thing's falling apart. Yeah, the
Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
As a figure collector, I'm like, yeah, those stupid
But
build
like that happens.
Like, it's a bug, not a feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the guy was like,
Feature
oh,
not
there must
about
be
you.
like a feature on the
Feature not-
figure. No,
yeah.
it's not.
Classic.
Yeah, a little silly.
Hey, there's Dylan.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see one day. We'll know one day. I don't know. It's I mean it's something. It's probably. Well, I'm very excited because again it's a Star Wars movie, so we haven't gotten one of those in a long time.
I hope-
and
I
I'm
hope
kind of itching
they-
for one.
I'm
Yeah,
itching for
I
one,
could use one.
especially after reading all this Kenobi stuff. I want a Star Wars.
I hope
movie.
I want them to put Kenobi in theaters. That would
They did technically, right?
They
Oh, no,
did.
here.
No.
Someone in our Discord saw it.
I know, but here I'm saying the U.S.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I'm saying
think you
it's not
did.
gonna happen. Yeah, Lord
You
Janky.
just said
I'm
said
saying-
exactly what I wasn't saying.
Well,
Anyways.
Remember when they showed Rogue One and they said it was a mystery, but everyone knew it was Rogue One.
I went and saw it. It was
No,
good.
You guys didn't
I
know
did
it was
too,
Rogue
it was
One.
fun.
You guys,
I
You
did.
guys did not know it was Rogue
We
One.
did.
because well, hold on, sorry. You might have. I told you and Ben, you and Gibbs. You guys are like, what? What? You why did you tell us that?
Well, yeah, and then we found out from you.
From me, I know. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Before you saw it, which
But but other
I
than
remember
that,
saying
mean,
it was Rogue
based
One.
off runtime. And I
I
feel
knew
like
from
Rogue
John
One is
Campbell.
always that movie that this
What's that?
stuff happened. Like, Rogue One's just very cheap, right? Like, because it's always on TV. It's always like
Oh, for licensing fees and stuff.
Yeah.
oh
It-
yeah, license.
that and Solo are always on like TNT and stuff. Like, I don't know.
Dude, I would have killed someone to see Solo again in the theater.
That'd be
I love
pretty
that movie,
sweet.
man.
You want to go on record and say that?
Well,
Is
Your
this
Honor,
admissible?
Your Honor, I would not actually murder someone or do anyone harm to see
Your Honor,
Solo.
he wanted to see Solo
Um,
in theaters.
I would
Honestly,
commit
Solo
commit a
in
felony.
theaters.
I don't think I'd kill someone.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'd like
Hey Brent, shout out Brent, Andrew Grogu. You find us at Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. Pretty cool.
Good
he
movie
says.
alert.
I like it.
Haven't
Seen it. Haven't seen it.
Are you guys
I haven't
worried
Haven't-
about
haven't-
Thor
haven't- What's that?
Are you guys worried about Thor 4?
No,
Not at all.
not after this interview that I listened to. Taika was. I am hoping because it's gonna happen. It's happening with Doctor Strange, and it happened with No Way Home, where they're releasing longer versions of the cut eventually with. deleted
Oh
scenes and
yeah,
stuff.
wait, I never brought that up on here. Spider-Man: No Way Home's coming out again, but
Yeah, it's coming
longer.
out again with more content, and
Are we gonna go?
I will go. I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll fly out.
Fly out again?
Oh, never mind.
There's
I thought they were just bringing it back to theaters.
They
They
are.
Okay. Oh, I see
Or
what you mean.
another-
Okay, you
another
guys
edit
were
of the
making a
film.
joke. I was not paying.
There's no
attention.
joke. There's another edit of the film.
No, I know, but the joke was that you were gonna fly out here and we were gonna see it again.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Anyway, the point is,
Don't do it.
Sam Raimi has also talked about how there's a much longer version of Doctor
Doctor
Strange, and
I don't really care to see
Taika
that.
and the actors have
TBH.
confirmed that there is a 4-hour cut.
Yeah.
Of Thor: Love and
A lot,
Thunder.
of,
that
a lot of articles have been titled.
This is like Loki a short.
Thor-
not a
and
short.
Thor-
it's only
They
two
have so
stars.
much cut footage; it could be another entire movie.
Yeah, wait, it's not necessarily that, but it's because
But it's a
so there's a couple things we know about it, and we're coming to the end here, but I think it's pretty interesting stuff. So Lena Headey, who is Cersei in Game of Thrones, you may know her. She's also in Dread. We know this because her not production company, her agents are suing her right now for $7 million.
Wow.
Or rather 500,000 technically, because they are demanding a cut of the $7 million fee that she made, a fee that she earned from being in Thor: Love and Thunder. But she's not in the movie. But she got paid $7 million
How?
to be in this
'cause
movie.
She's in these cuts.
But she got cut.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's a whole character.
So they're like, hey, you weren't in this movie. Give us our money.
No, she's saying, you didn't get me this role. I'm not even in the final movie. I'm not paying you.
Oh,
And they're like, because Taika came right to her. This is all in court records. This is legit information. This isn't like rumors. And they're saying, no, but we're still your agent, so we get the money, even though Taika came right to you. It's a whole legal battle. No, I don't want to get into that.
Why isn't she in the movie?
But the fact that she was paid $7 million to have a role in this film, and then that she's not in it.
See, this is the kind of stuff that scares me to see movies. When I hear that, like, oh yeah, there's this whole character that made $7 million worth of being in a film, and
Got
just
cut.
oh yeah, this whole character isn't gonna have any relevance. So like, what does that mean for that? Like, what part did she have to play in that? Obviously, you can
I can tell
re-edit
you
and
what
recut,
I think that because a lot of this 4 hours, it's not like the 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith or whatever, where there was more story that got left out and it was just too big. It's 4 hours because there was so much. Good one, Carter. Carter always comes in. He will wait until the last moment. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does
Carter,
it.
you're the best.
It is
You're the best.
incredibly
Thank you.
impressive, and it makes me smile every time.
Every time.
Thank you, Carter.
Thank you, Carter.
Anyway,
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
it's 4 hours because of apparently how much improv they did. They just
Oh, really?
Taika was just doing like it's comedy. It's just bits.
Yeah.
Taika's a big.
So these are
improv
complaints I'm seeing about the movie, though, where it's like, hey, I like funny Thor. I don't
Nope.
need like an actual joke of a character Thor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. But apparently, my point is that Lena Headey, apparently, this is conjecture that I heard on the John Campea show, putting it out there. I'm getting my sources
Shout out to
of
friend
this.
of the show, John.
Friend of the show, John Campea, one of the few shows I still listen to.
Yeah.
They were saying that this role was not a comedic role. She's not a comedic actress. This was a serious
Oh,
role,
wow.
and that she was cut from the film because it just like even though they loved the performance and stuff, it just doesn't. Sometimes when you're editing a film, like if this movie is a comedy, it doesn't flow right if there's this 20-minute serious subplot in there.
Yeah, I'm
and-
trying to think like.
And
was
they
she
had
gonna be a villain.
and they had to cut down a lot of this movie to make it adhere to a certain tone. Because the way Taika describes it in this interview that Johnny and I watched was he wants it to feel like an 80s like font come to life.
Yeah.
And it's just like to me, I dig that. So I think I'm
Interesting
probably gonna love
pitch.
I think I'm probably gonna
Yeah.
like the movie because
It's-
I love Taika's.
I'm always so
movies, it's just-
conflicted because I like a part of me is always like, Marvel's gotta like keep like going out of the box, like they gotta like start making movies different than all the other ones. But then I hear that and I'm like,
And they do. Doctor Strange is different. Doctor Strange is weird. That movie's so weirdly made.
yeah,
I love
in a
it.
Weird. So maybe that's why.
No, but I love it. I love it to death.
Doctor Strange is alright.
Doctor Strange is excellent. I'm a big
It's
fan.
not excellent. I'm sorry. That's just not a. You're wrong.
I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. Multiverse of
You're
Madness.
objectively incorrect.
Well, you can objectively.
The movie is flawed.
Go away.
You can objectively go away.
Well, I was gonna
I
say
think I
something
gave it a
crude,
7
but
out of 10.
we have
So that means
children.
it's more like a 5 out of 10.
It's fine.
That movie is
I'm
that movie is
talking
an
about
easy.
Thor. I'm
That
talking
movie is an easy 8.5. Sorry, what? Who gave what a 5?
Okay, IGN gave Thor a 7, which means
That means nothing.
yeah,
IGN,
exactly.
that means nothing to
That
me.
literally means
Yeah,
that
okay,
like it's
IGN.
mid by IGN standards.
Quite frankly,
Well,
I don't care. And I
Do you
think
think
it's
this
time.
movie's gonna have any major tie-ins to other MCU? Like
Yes.
I'm
push forward? we haven't
marveled
really got
out
that yet.
anyways, so it's just I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference for me.
He's marveled out. The Marvel guy is marveled out.
I used to be a Marvel guy.
Spider-Man never. However, others, I'm good.
Okay.
So
that
I
it?
want to dislike this movie.
You
I
want
hope
to
it's
dislike
good. No,
it?
I
What
mean,
are
like,
you
I
saying?
hope
kidding.
it's good.
Saying-
I'm,
I'm just kidding.
Get out of here. Get out of the stream.
I like to hate sometimes. I don't know.
Sam is one of my favorite directors of all time. And I've said this, and I'll go on record again saying it. But I mean, I thought Doctor Strange, yeah, it was kind of mid. It was
They're going
exciting
loopy,
at certain
guys.
certain,
This stream's gotta
certain, certain parts. And then
Sorry,
Taika is also one of my favorite directors, and I hope this is good. And
Hey, he
I
killed
will
it with
say,
Ragnarok, so
I'm
I'll
much
take
more
another.
intrigued.
He
with
killed it
this
in
movie
Mando,
than it
too.
was-
He killed it in
than it was
Mando.
Doctor Strange. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So we shall see. Natalie Portman, very excited to see her as Thor.
He created
I
some
mean,
of the most iconic
that's the-
imagery from The
the
Mandalorian.
drawing.
Just saying. He directed that
Thank you.
in the finale.
Good stuff. Thank you, Taika.
Thanks.
Thank you, Taika.
Thanks, Taika. Yeah, he was responsible for
Moff Gideon coming out of that TIE fighter.
Jason Sudeikis punching Baby Yoda.
the Yoda, yeah.
So,
Well-
anyways, we'll see Thor sometime
Hopefully.
in the future.
I was hoping
hopefully
we'd do a
with us.
Friday vid, but it doesn't sound like that's gonna happen.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. We're gonna end it
And then
there.
we're done.
All right.
We're done.
We're gonna
Thank you
go
everybody
fight
for
after
being
this.
here.
After this,
Thank you to my co-host for being here as always.
Unnamed co-hosts.
Yeah. And again, I know we've been we took a little bit of a week break, but we're back and
It was
we
2 weeks.
appreciate,
It's more than
all
a
the
week.
love and yeah. So we will see you guys sooner or later.
Or later.
Adios.
Okay, bye everybody.